So I'm back here in Hawaii and so excited to be here, but this also gives me a reason to talk about some free accessories for the Mini 3 Pro when you're out traveling. So in today's video, I want to share the most useful free accessories that you need when you're out traveling with your Mini 3 Pro or the Mavic 3 Classic. So the first one is going to be my free cheat sheets for the Mini 3 Pro. Avada is underway, same with the Mavic 3 Classic, but these are basically free to download settings guides and travel guides which you can bring with you when you're out traveling. And you can use this on your phone. You can also print it and label it and put it in your wallet if you want to do that, and you can also have it on your computer. Now, since I'm here in Hawaii on sort of a mission, there is so many different thoughts that goes through my head, and having this cheat sheet with me really helped me out in certain situations when I was wondering about what type of setting is best for this scenario, because here on the island of Oahu, things get changed up pretty fast. So the weather is pretty unpredictable and we don't really know at times, especially, when we try to do some different hikes and stuff, the weather can change in an instant. Now, just to give you an example of how my cheat sheets are working with the Mini 3 Pro, I'm going to show you a short sequence here with the exact same settings that you can find on these sheets. So let's take a look at that and see how that looks with some added color grading as well. And that brings us over to the next one, which is my Signature LUTs. Now, this is a video about free must-have accessories for the Mini 3 Pro, right? So I'm giving away a few of my Signature LUTs for you to test out so you can experience the amazing quality of your videos as I do on my drone shots and also here on my channel. Everything is color graded with my Signature LUTs, so you can test these out for free if you want. If you decide, you can pick up the bundle, which is also discounted down in the description below. And if you already have it, thank you so much for supporting. And if you just got it, then also thank you so much for supporting this channel. It really means a lot. Now, when it comes to the next one here, this is pretty important to me. It's not a new application, but it's the UAV forecast app. And this is essential when you're out traveling, especially to destinations you have never been before or never done any research. But the best thing is always to do some research, and you can actually do that with this app as well. So I'm here east of Honolulu now, and it says good to fly. So everything is green, and this is also something that you can download prior to your travel, and then you can go in and you can play around with it. You can check and see how it works, but I'm going to go through that in a sec. But you can also change and select the location of where you are traveling to get an idea of how windy it is over a few days and so on. Now, it is a free application, but it also has a subscription plan if you want to check altitude levels of above 150 meters. I don't need that because we can't really fly higher than 120 anyway, so this is basically more than enough for me. Now, let me put on screen record here. See, it says good to fly. Weather is partially cloudy, and we have the temperature, the wind, and satellites. And what's really interesting here on this island is the KP, because this is the geomagnetic storm index, which is messing with the signals of my drones here on the island. So as long as this is green, I don't worry about anything, but if this turns red, I'm a little bit more careful because you can lose signal in an instant. It's really, really painful. Now, if we tap on wind, you can see that my max wind speed is set to 10 meters a second. This is because the Mini 3 Pro has a 10 meters a second wind resistance. It can withstand winds higher than that and gusts higher than that. But when I'm so far away from home, even though I've been here many times, it is a different location, a different place. So I want to just keep it to to what it is. And this is an island, so the gusts can change in an instant as well. Now you can also change the wind altitude here as well. So if we put it to ground, you can see 3 meters a second, and if we try to go above 150, you will be prompted with the subscription plan here. It's pretty cheap. It's like $1 for 1 month, and you have $10 for a year. So if this is something, if you fly a lot of drones, then this is highly recommended to get. And if you need to fly higher than 150 meters or check the wind speed above 150 meters, then you can opt in for the subscription plan. But I usually set this to 150 meters and keep it at that, because then I have a little bit higher than what I'm allowed to fly. And you can also change to miles per hour, kilometers, knots, meters a second, and whatever this last one is, and also feet and meters. So I'm keeping this to meters, and on the bottom here you can also see different times of the days. So we have here when it's not good to fly. You can see that the satellites being locked to the drone is pretty low compared to what you would prefer, but other than that, this does the job. Really, you have the cloud coverage here as well, which is pretty accurate, and you also have the precipitation of rain, which is pretty accurate as well. Yeah, and also the wind direction. So, and of course, can't forget the map, which is the most essential part of this app if you ask me. And this gives you the gives you an overview of the restricted drone areas. And right where I'm at now, there is no restrictions. And if we push this over towards the airport, you can see all these yellow, red and orange circles, which is prohibited zones. And there's a few military bases as well. And you can also click on these, and then you can see what type of no drone zone this is. And some says a restricted zone, and others says that it's the National Wildlife Refuge, or maybe there is a Class E airspace. Now, one last thing here, if you go over to settings here, we can also go to the no-fly zone settings. If you click on that, you can see that we have the DJI and FCS zones here, and this is enabled. And you can also select what type of drone you're flying. So now I've been flying the Avata a little bit. I can select the Avata, and then everything will be updated according to the drone that you're flying. So this is really, really awesome. So I changed this whenever I'm out flying a new drone, or I changed the drone here. So now I've been flying the Avata a little bit. I changed this to the Avata to see what type of conditions there is for the Avata, and if the conditions are good to fly the Avata. And the same for the Mavic 3 Classic, but the Mavic 3 Classic can withstand most of what's going on this island. Now, there's also more to this app than what I just showed you, but for the normal flights that you're out doing when you're traveling, what I showed you is more than enough. But you can also check out some different settings and parameters there as well if you want to fiddle around with that. But for me, it's just a basic app. Change the drone and then check the flight restriction zones, and I'm good to go. Now, the next one is also free, but also has a subscription plan, and this is Epidemic Sound. The reason why I always bring up Epidemic Sound is because I've used it for so many years. And when I'm out filming and shooting beaches like this, I can hear everything which is going on. There's birds, there's waves, there's wind, everything. And I can't capture that with my drone. So I need sound effects, and I also want to have an amazing beat to that, or maybe something subtle or ambient, anything. And Epidemic Sound has everything that I need for these videos. So they have a 30-day free trial, so you have nothing to lose. And if we take the same clips that you just saw, but we lower the music and we add some sound effects as well, you will have a completely different video. So let's take a look at that. So Epidemic Sound has a 30-day free trial, which I highly recommend that you test out. You're gonna find some awesome music there. You're gonna find the sound effects you need, and you can also use the stems, which I've gone through in multiple videos of how you can isolate the melody from the instruments, from the beat, and so on. It's just an amazing way of editing audio design. So links to Epidemic Sound is down in the description below. Sign up with my link and you get the 30-day free trial. So there you have my top most useful essential accessories for the Mini 3 Pro and the Mavic 3 Classic or the DJI Avata. So these are the things that I bring with me when I'm out traveling, and this is basically, you know, my entire trip. I check the app, I check my cheat sheets, I put some footage into Final Cut Pro or LumaFusion, and I add some music to that, and I have a really good time. So with that said, I think that wraps it up. It's starting to wind up here, so I will see you guys in the next video.